Hello, my name is Shane Burry, and today we're going to make what I would call some peanut butter. I use, personally, it's Crazy Richard's 100% Peanuts Creamy Peanut Butter. It's 100% peanuts. If you look at the ingredients, there's nothing else added. It's brand new, I just bought it today. It's still separated if you look. So it's one of those natural ones that separates. I have peeled off the top. In addition to that, I have some Morton iodized sea salt, or not sea salt, it's iodized salt, whatever. It's in the big blue canister. I refilled this little thing. And I have some raw, unfiltered honey. I prefer raw, local if you can get it, wildflower or clover. It doesn't really matter what flower the bees extract their pollen from. As long as it's local to you, that can kind of help with allergies and things like that. So I got this because it was on sale at Kroger. So there's the three ingredients, and this is how we make some natural peanut butter. First, before I do anything to this, I add a bunch of salt. Not a bunch, but I don't know how much, maybe a quarter teaspoon, whatever. I'm a cook, so I just kind of do it by feel. And then I take a knife, a butter knife here, a case knife, as some people like to call it, and I just mix it up without spilling the oil all over whatever it is I'm working on. I kind of think about like kind of cutting down into the bottom. I was at the store today. I picked up this peanut butter today, and I was looking at there was about 4 jars of it there. And some of it had more oil on the top and some of it had less oil. So obviously I chose the one with the least oil on the top, meaning it's kind of the most homogenized and still kind of mixed up. But natural peanut butters, that's normal for them to kind of separate over time. But as I was telling a client recently, when I add the honey to it, it kind of keeps it more homogenized and it doesn't separate as much. It can kind of separate a little, but not near as much as if you didn't add the honey. And, I grew up on Skippy, which is, it's sugar and salt and they add extra oil and stuff like that. And it's nice and creamy and wonderful. And I used to eat the heck out of it. But as an adult, I realized, well, I can just take more natural, pure peanut butter and add my own natural sweetener. And I prefer honey. I'm vegetarian. I have been vegan, but even when I was vegan, I will admit I consumed honey because I think it's super healthy. Just look up all the health benefits to honey. It's good for your throat. It's good for your gut. It's a really wonderful ingredient. So you just kind of mix it up, mix it up, mix it up. It takes a little bit of work. My forearm is literally kind of on fire right now. And I'm a manual therapist, so it's like, and a rock climber. So these muscles are developed in me, but even with me, they kind of get fatigued. And by the time I'm done, it won't be past the top, obviously, but it'll be almost to the top because I've added a lot of volume from the honey. But it'll become a whole different consistency. Like when I first mixed up the oil and the peanuts, or the peanut butter or whatever, it was still extremely runny. Like I could pour it out almost like a milkshake or something. But now that I've mixed up all this honey, and you can choose other honeys. You can choose like a creamed honey that's like a thicker consistency. But even now, look at that. I couldn't pour that out. It's still pretty thin. And let's taste it. Let's give it a little taste here. That's plenty sweet. So this one's a little bit thin. So what I could do is instead of using this kind of liquid honey, I could have used a creamed honey, and that would kind of make the consistency of the peanut butter, the end product, a little bit thicker. So you can vary this and this and this and honestly, if you had to, you could add more oil. I don't think that's ever been a problem for me. It's usually less oil or it's too thin like this one. But I will say, kind of like a soup, over time, it sort of changes, and this will actually become a little bit thicker. So that's how I make my own peanut butter. That way it's already sweetened, it's got salt in it, you can salt it to your taste or whatever your needs are, your dietary needs, if you need to limit salt or not. So have fun with that.